Okay, so I now have 3 individual working ends of yarn, all nicely separated and untangled. I kind of, on these smaller squares, I kind of like to do it when I get to about the halfway point. It kind of makes it a bit easier to work with for the last half. Okay, so for our decreasing, so we class all this as increasing, and then the rest we class as decreasing. And what you do for this is you are going to turn your work, so this is where we are, turn it over, and then you're going to do a slip stitch in each of these stitches along the top. Make sure your first loop on your hook isn't too big, or you're going to have a bit of a sloppy bit on the edge there. So just do a slip stitch across these 3 stitches. It's like I said, we don't need to increase up the side anymore. You want to come across and start squaring this off across here. So slip stitch across all 3 stitches, and then into your chain space do a slip stitch. Sorry guys, needing to keep our hydration up with this sunny weather. Okay, so then we're going to do a chain 3 as if we were doing a middle block. So you're then going to do your block as usual, just here. There we go, that's your block as usual without increasing. So you're then going to change colour. So drop this one down around here. Bring your red, or sorry, your mug colour, bring that over. And sorry, what? I'm getting myself confused now. Sorry, we need to do our slip stitch, don't we? Oh my goodness me. Someone take our heat wave away. It's affecting me. Playing with my brain. Okay, right, let's do our slip stitch, and then we'll sort that out. Okay, right, so, oh my gosh, don't you just love seeing someone else have a problem, because then it makes you feel like your own problems that you have with your crochet are okay. Someone else is having the same problems, makes it it's good, isn't it? Good to see someone else having problems. Okay, right, so we're going to change to this mug colour. So as usual, we're going to bring this up here and then pull that background colour down, and then do your block as usual. So you don't need me to show you that. You need to do 4 blocks. Yes, that I am correct there. 4 blocks of background colour. Mug colour. 4 blocks of mug colour. I'll see you when you've done 4 blocks of this. Okay, after 4 blocks of mug colour, it's time to bring your background colour back up. So you know how we do this by now. Bring this across through the loop, pull your mug colour back down, and then you're going to do 3 blocks of this background colour. Now just remember, normally when you do your blocks, you have 1, 2, 3, and you'll finish on top. You're finishing next to this time. You're not going to go up here, you're going to finish next to. So 3 blocks of background colour, and I'll see you in a sec. So when you've done your last background colour, you should have this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have to get from here across to here. So we're going to do exactly as we did before. Turn your work and slip stitch across those stitches. 1, 2, 2, 3, and in your chain space 4 slip stitches, and then you're in the right space for doing your next square. So you're going to do 3 blocks of this colour. 1, 2, 3. 3 blocks of this colour. You know how to start. Chain 3 and then do your blocks as usual. So I'll see you after 3 blocks of your background. Okay, when you've done your 3 blocks, just be sure to pop this colour and your mug colour behind before you do your slip stitch, because we're on the front. Okay, so just be sure to pop your your colour behind before you do your slip stitch of your background colour, or we'll have that carry over on the front, and we don't really want that. So do your slip stitch of your last block of background colour, that is. And then you probably guessed it, we're going to change back to our mug colour. So bring your mug colour up and pull that other one down, and then you're going to do 3 blocks of mug. Okay, so you're going to do 3 blocks of mug. And when you've done 3 blocks of mug, it's time to bring your background colour over and join. And pull your mug colour down. And then do 1 block of background colour. And when you've done your background colour, you're going to turn your work and do those slip stitches across, just as you have done before. So do those slip stitches across and then do 1 more block of background colour. And when you've done 1 block of background colour, okay, just my husband making a bit of a noise in the background there. So 1 block of background colour, and then bring up this mug colour and join in that loop. Pull your background colour down. You know how to do this by now. So then you're going to do 2 blocks of background colour. So, sorry, mug colour. 2 blocks of mug. Okay, so 2 blocks of mug colour, and this now is when you need your steam colour. So I've got my white for steam. Steam, I know, doesn't really have a colour, does it? But hey ho. So hold your tail at the back, join your colour in, just as we always have done. There we go. And pull that yarn tight, so that mug, just to bring that loop down nice and tightly there. And then you're going to do 2 blocks of this steam colour. So just keep this keep this mug colour out of the way, and do your 2 blocks of steam. Okay, before you do your 2 blocks, I've done my first one here, and just to say this colour here, we're going to need to carry up, so and work sort of over and under. So what I'm going to do is bring this up here. I'm going to do my slip knot here, and that brings this yarn up here. Can you see this piece here? So bring that up there, and then I'm going to work my next block as usual, but I'm going to work over this piece of yarn here. Okay, so do this block working over this piece of yarn for my background. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could have just carried it straight up here, so it would have been a bit like this. Okay, you could have carried it across there, but this way you have far less yarn being carried across your work. Okay, so just bring this and do your slip stitch with your steam colour, your hot cup of coffee or tea. Okay, so you've done your slip stitch of your steam colour, and then before you change and change to your background colour, just bring this down, make sure it's down at the back, okay, because it's going to have a big difference when we do the block on the other side. So then bring this background colour through and do this last block. So do this last block and then I'll see you in a moment. Okay, there we go, and then turn your work over and do your, turned it the wrong way. No, that is the way I go. Oh dear. Okay, and then do your slip stitches across as you have done before. Do those. Hold that a bit too tight. Sometimes it's, there we go, and 3. And then in your chain space. Okay, okay, right. Now, the reason I said make sure you've got this piece at the back of your steam is because we need to carry it up, because we're going to have a block of steam up here at the top. So, bring this steam colour up and through your background colour. Pull your background colour tight. Okay, so you've changed to your steam colour, but what you want to do is carry this background colour behind, okay, and then you're going to work over both the white steam strand or whatever colour you're using and work over your background colour as well, okay. So you'll do your chain 3 and then you'll go over both of those pieces of yarn. So let's do this and show you, see if you can see what I mean. There we go. So under there we have that white piece, and we also have my grey strand as well of my background, all nicely tucked under there, rather than carrying this piece across here. So we're going to do our slip stitch of this steam into the next block, and then we're going to drop that down, and we're going to bring up this colour here. So we are bringing it up a little way, but not as much as we would have had to do. So just bring it up this short way. You can always start a new piece of yarn if you prefer not to carry. You can always start new pieces. As it's only a small square and it's on the back, then these few bits of yarn carries don't particularly bother me. So yeah, you could decide to change and have new pieces if you wanted to, but I'm trying to keep the colour changes to a minimum, or the pieces of yarn to a minimum for the purposes of the cal. So I'm not giving you loads and loads of yarn ends. Okay, so with your background colour, you want to make 2 blocks of background. So 2 blocks of background, and I'll see you in a moment. And before you do your second slip stitch of your second block, put this mug colour to the back. Pop it down at the back before you do your slip stitch. So slip stitch into there, and then you are going to do 1 block of your mug colour. So bring your mug colour back up and do everything exactly as you have done before. Do 1 block of mug, and then you're going to do everything before. You're going to bring this colour over and do 1 block of background. So you will work over this piece of yarn here. Okay, so you've done these colour changes enough now to know how to do that. So 1 block of mug and then 1 block of background. Okay, so I've done all that, and now you can probably see we have a mug and we have some steam. So what you're going to do is you're only now going to need one working end of background colour, which is the one that we're on at the moment. So you can get rid of all the rest. So cut some tails of your mug. Get that out of the way. Cut your steam on a tail. Get rid of that. And find your other background colour. Cut a tail there. And you can get rid of that. Just this one end of yarn left. That's all you have. Super duper duper. So what you're going to do is turn your work and slip stitch across, and then you are going to do 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to do your slip stitches back and do 3 blocks, slip stitch across, 2 blocks, slip stitch, 1 block, your final block. So you should know how to do that by now. If you need a reminder, well, we've just done some slip stitches, or we haven't done them, I'll just do these slip stitches with you now, get you started. So slip stitch across this block and into there, and then you are going to do your chain 3 and do your block 4, and then do your slip stitch across as we've done here but down there. Okay, and you're going to do 4, then 3, then 2, and then your last one, and I'll meet you back for the last block. And there you have it. At the end of row 17 we have finished. Now you have some choices. You can, if you don't like finishing part way along, you can turn your work and slip stitch across to finish in the corner, or if you don't really mind where you finish, you can just fast it off just where you are, and there you go. Get rid of all this yarn, pull that through, there we go. And also you will see that your work does go a bit sort of diagonal because you've been working in the diagonal. So all you need to do, just hold the corners and give it a stretch back the other way. Just square it out a bit and it soon squares up quite nicely. There we go, that's looking quite square there. So you just need to give it a stretch out in the other directions, excuse me, to stop it being looking wonky. So just remove my stitch marker there, and you can see how once these are sewn in, it is fairly reversible, but you do have a few sort of yarn carries on the back, but you can't see them too badly, so it is fairly reversible. So you just sew your ends in, secure any that aren't secure already. So some of these colour changes we didn't actually secure with any knots or anything, so just make sure they're secured. If you need to, just do what we did on some of these and tie them together, give them a knot. Just make sure you are making them secure before you sew them in, and then turning it back the right way. I'm just going to tuck all these under here, out of the way. There we go. Okay, so you can see here there are a few little bits of colour changes showing. So what you could do is just grab your finger and just pull these across, spread them out, and or you might want to use a hook, but you can just kind of give these a bit of a scooch along. You can fiddle with it. If it bothers you, you can fiddle with it and just pull these bits of yarn over like so. Spread them out a bit if it bothers you. Some people it doesn't bother, and there are other ways you can sort of disguise as well. Just if any of these blocks aren't sitting perfectly square, just have a little play with your yarn and cover up those little colour changes. And there you go. There is your first square of Foodie Week, the coffee mug. Is it coffee? Or is it tea you're drinking? Or is it even hot chocolate? let me know in the comments below. I hope you found this useful and helpful, and apologies again for the camera being a little bit temperamental with its focusing, and with me getting in rather a muddle today, even when it's my own design. Okay guys, if you found this useful and helpful, then please click that like button, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget hit subscribe, and join the Facebook group, and show us all your photos, and let me see what kind of coffee mugs you've got, and what you're drinking. So until next time, just keep cooking and don't eat your tea or coffee.